Hello, we have been discussing Shmita's Kesfim, the forgiveness of debts of the Shmita year. And last time we were discussing the Pruzbul. We did not get to the Nusach of Pruzbul or which basin should be used for a Pruzbul. So the Mishnah in Shvis says, Zeu Gufo shel Pruzbul. This is the text of the Pruzbul. Mosar nilachem ish Ploni upeloni hadaynim שבמקום פלוני. I give over to you so and so and so and so and so and so the dayanim in such and such a place. Shekol chov sheyeshli, every debt that is owed to me. Shaagbenu kol zman שארצה, that I can collect it any time I want. והדיינים חותמין למטה or העדים. And then the dayanim sign below, or the העדים can sign below, meaning you don't have to make the statement in front of the basin itself. You could make it in front of witnesses, and the witnesses sign that you gave it over to these dayanim. So the Nukka Yosef, in the beginning of the fourth parak in Baba Kama, says something very interesting. Ubedamrinin kol chov, v'lo amrim kol shtar chov. The fact is that the Mishnah says that we're giving over every debt, and it doesn't say every document of indebtedness. Sheminin da'afilu b'malva pay kesfim Pruzbul, so that the Pruzbul works even on an oral debt. Even if there's no shtar to give over to basin, the debt itself can be given over to basin in this way, and then that debt wouldn't be released. Now, that's an interesting thing, and we've seen there's a debate between Rav and Shmuel as to what basin. According to Rav, it's any basin. According to Shmuel, it's only the basin of Surah or Pumbedisa. So Rabbeinu Tam is brought in the Rosh. We do not have the text other places to the best of my knowledge, although it may be in Sefer Yashar that I do not remember. Rabbeinu Tam zal kaseh b'Sefer Yashar, and the Rosh says Rabbeinu Tam wrote in Sefer Yashar. Ve'ein lichtov Pruzbul b'zman hazeh, shein anu mumchim karavami v'karavasi. We cannot write a Pruzbul in our time because we are not as experts in halacha as Ravami and Ravasi. V'shuv chazer bo Rabbeinu Tam, but Rabbeinu Tam retracted on this. V'kasav hu ba'atzmo in Pruzbul, and he himself wrote a Pruzbul. Ki hu amar telo ba'inen ela beistin choshuv shebador. It doesn't require a basin like Rami and Ravashi. He said it requires a respectable basin in that generation. So, does everyone agree that we need a kavua set, well-known basin? In Sefer Zechus, the Ramban writes on Gittin, Mishum desvir le kurv Nachman beidach the Amar I aisher chayli akmina umetakanas shel Hillel afka memone v'lo tzarich ela beistin kol dehu. Rav Nachman says that if he could, he would come out and wipe out the tikkun of Hillel, but because we don't need only any type of beistin, to kulayhu bate dinin tikun, because any basin can fix things in this way. V'lo sfir like Shmuel, and we do not hold like Shmuel. Damar beidin and Surah or Naharda davka. It can only be the basin of Surah, Naharda, Pumbedisa, one of these excellent bate din, one of the greatest bate din in their generation. The Rashba, one of the Talmidim of the Ramban, in his Chidushim and Gittin writes, Linian Ksivas Pruzbul Kasvinan B'chol Beidina. Concerning writing a Pruzbul, it can be written in any basin. Afal Gav de Lo Alim Kebeidina de Surah of Naharda'a, even though it's not as important as the basin of Surah Naharda'a. So, Rabbeinu Tam originally says you can't write a Pruzbul at all. And then he says you can with a respected basin in that generation. The Ramban and the Rashba write, you can use any basin, any ad hoc basin, you can give over your stars to. The Rambam now says, Ein kosim Pruzbul elo chachamim gedolim biyoser, kebeistin al Rabbi Ami v'Rabbi Asi. he says, you do not write a Pruzbul except for the greatest chachamim, like the Beis Din of Rabbi Ami and Rabbi Asi, Shen roim lahafkia mamon b'nei adam, because they are dayanim, are fit to take away a person's money. Aval shar bati dinim ein kosvim, but in all other bati din you cannot write. So it would be very, very limited which bati din, meaning it might be that in the United States we don't have a single Beis Din. It would be like this, because in other places you have formal bati din set up, not by rabbis deciding we're going to set up a Beis Din, but the formal Jewish community gets together, and as a community they have certain officials that take care of appointing for the entire community, the rabbanim and the dayanim and so on. But in places where you don't have that, it might be that it's not a chashuv Beis Din, or it could be the Beis Din that a lot of people, or most of the people in that particular place, go to with their monetary issues and marriage and divorce issues and conversions and so on and so forth. The well-established, well-known bati din could be. But the Rambam certainly isn't saying that. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it would be that way. So we now have three levels, three opinions. According to the Rambam, it's only the Beis Din of Gedolei Hador. According to Rabbeinu Tam, it's a well-known Beis Din in that generation. And according to the Ramban and the Rashba, it's any Beis Din. So, given this, what does the Shulchan Aruch say? Pruzbul enu mishamit. He says, Chosh Mishpat Siman Samach Zayin Sif Yidches. The Pruzbul, if a Pruzbul is made, the debt is not forgiven. The Eino Nechtav Elav Beis Din Chashuv, and it can only be written in a Beis Din Chashuv, an important Beis Din. The Hainu Shlosha Bekim Bedin, Ube'inyan Pruzbul, three that are experts in Chosh Mishpat, and specifically in the halachas of Pruzbul. The Yodim Inyan Shmita, they know well the matters of Shmita. The Hamachum Rabim Alehem Bosohir, and in general, the public in that generation, in that city, relies upon them. So, the Chashuv Beis Din of, or could be a city has more than one Chashuv Beis Din, depending on the size, and so on, but well-known Beis Din. That's the opinion of the Mechaber, seeming to be essentially the opinion of Rabbeinu Tam, and not quite as strict as the Rambam. The Ramah adds, V'yeshomrim dekosvin Pruzbul b'chol Beis Din, and some people say you can write a Pruzbul in any Beis Din. This is the opinion of the Torah and the Beis Yosef and the Shem of the Poskim. It's interesting. The Beis Yosef brings these Poskim as well. He's saying the more lenient Poskim, the Ramban and the Rashba, are brought by the Beis Yosef along with everything else. Now in his Pesach, the Beis Yosef isn't relying on those, but nonetheless he brings these Poskim as well. V'nirali diyesh lahakel b'zman hazeh. And it appears to me that in our times one should be lenient, or one can be lenient. The Aruch HaShulchan sums everything that we've had up. V'harbei hikilu chazal b'zeh. And the rabbis were very lenient on this. Ad she'amar she'talmidei chachamim shehilvu zeh lezeh, until they said that when Talmidei Chachamim made alone one Talmid Chacham to another, Umaser Amil V'Dvarav L'Shlosha Mea Talmidim, and when a Talmid Chacham goes and he tells this over to three Talmidim, Va'amar, and he says, Mosreini Lechem, I give over to you any debt that I have. Ein tzarich lichtov Pruzbul. You don't even have to write out the document of the Pruzbul. Because they all know that Shmitas K'safim in our time is a rabbinic matter. And they can therefore be done just with words alone. Because they don't have to claim the loan. And some people say a person can say this before any Beis Din. And the Beis Din doesn't even have to write the Pruzbul. be'iram shel hadayanim, and it doesn't matter whether the lender is in the same city as the dayanim or not, or no. Ki yachol lomer afilu shelo bifneim. He can say the pruzbul even not in front of the beis din. Animos erashtarasai v'chovosai shabal pei. The beis din shiur ploni. I give over my debts, my written debts, my oral debts, to the beis din in such and such a city. Vimhu b'derech, and if he's traveling, he doesn't have people in front of him. Lichtov lehadyanim shemaser lehem chovosav v'shtarosav. He can write to the dayanim. He doesn't even have to say it in front of anyone. He can simply send a letter to the dayanim erev Rosh Hashanah that he is giving over all his debts to them, so that he can collect them when he wants. V'lechen yesh mi shekasev sheholech hamalve etzel shnei aidim or shlosha. Therefore, some people write that the lender should go in front of 2 witnesses or 3. Thomer havu alai sahadi, that you should be my witnesses. V'chazu da'ana masrana pruzbola kamei shlosha dayanim, that you witness that I give over a pruzbul in front of 3 dayanim. Dinun plonia plonia ploni shabakom plonis v'dailo. These are the dayanim, this person in such a place, and this is enough for it. So, for those people that are generally machmir for the machaber, the Sfardim, they should make sure they have the names of a set beis din wherever they are, or possibly the Rabbanut Rishit always establishes a beis din for all of Eretz Yisrael in the entire world. They could use that, because Yerushalayim Nikra Ircha, that Jerusalem is called your city, and you can give it over. And they publish the names of this beis din, this chashuv beis din that will accept the pruzbul, and that can be used even though they never find out about it. You say, I give over my debts to these dayanim, and whoever is present can either sign it, or the Aruch HaShulchan says even if it's not signed, it's plenty good for not releasing the debts. And this is the way. It's better to write it, have the Aidim sign on it, and then there should be no problems, according to the vast majority of opinions. And that's according to the Mechaber. According to the Ramah, I give over to the beis din in Chicago all of the Dayanim, Rabbi Reese, I don't know who the others are, Rabbi Abramson, and so on, all the chovos that I have, so I can collect them when I want, and that would be fine. Or whatever city happens to be close to you, however it works, you can go online and see who the Dayanim are in that beis din, in the closest city, and write out your pruzbul that way if they don't have them prepared and show for you. Everyone should have a wonderful year, and it should be, one of the things it says is in Motzi Shmita Ba HaGoel, that after the Shmita year is the time of Mashiach should come, and it should be after this Shmita that we should be Zocha to the Geula. Everyone should have a wonderful day.